That's the view of the sky today. I'm wearing Cuba for no particular reason. And this is Stargate Research Department from White Rock, BC. I'm not in White Rock, BC. I wish I was, because it's very beautiful there. The ocean is lovely. And if you have a chance to go to White Rock, BC, you might consider going. You fly to Vancouver, and you could take a city bus, I suppose, or rent a car, or get a cab. Today's topic is wherewithal. Wherewithal is sort of a word that means capacity or capability. You might wish that you had capabilities and capacities and wherewithal to do something. Lo and behold, you might find that you do not have these capabilities, capacities, and wherewithals. So you pout and you frown, and quite often you get angry. These are emotions, and these are emotional body issues. Well, I don't know what to tell you. Usually the capacities and capabilities that I'm looking for are to and if I find I don't have them, and if I feel like I'm being then the emotional body gets, and then I feel like I've got the wherewithal to do something. The human condition is that if you're a psychological drama queen, you might be able to fill in a lot of these blanks with different words for different scenarios. If you're writing a book, your characters might have flaws. Character flaws. And why would you write these characters with flaws? To make them more human, perhaps. If every character was God, perfect, divine, and had no flaws, and so you had a whole planet full of gods, the planet I look at is full of humans. And if you look at the root of the word hue, it refers to divinity. So we're supposed to be divine men, and unfortunately, some people don't like the word men to include women and people of non-gender binary, whatever that lexicon is. But, you know, the species is called human. Homo sapiens sapiens. So, Homo sapiens sapiens doesn't have anything to do with divinity, but human, if you look up Hugh, H-U, it refers to divinity. So the scientific name is actually a poor name because it allows anyone to have any kind of character flaws at all and be considered part of your species. So we classify people as being part of a species because they can reproduce together. But you can't put two men together and reproduce, or two women together and reproduce. So are two women together of the same species? Well, anyway, it means basically the same physicality. So the same morphology, which means sort of the shape of things, and the parts are the same. But if you think it's just, are some people that are in these human forms more divine than others? Some people say all are equal. I don't think so. I don't think all are equal. I think some have got major character flaws. And do I consider them of the same species than me? Well, I was taught biologically we were the same. But maybe that's incorrect. Maybe that's just because we have the same or similar morphology and physiology. But if our characters are so different, some are demonic and some are benevolent, I wouldn't say that, you're the same category. What's more important? Your physiology is the same, or the fact that the way you behave is different? I suppose, I could have taken a course in criminology at university. I didn't. Study of criminality. But, I keep coming back to the scale of human consciousness. And if you look at the scale of human consciousness and you take the information, at least according to Dr. David R. Hawkins, who wrote the books that I often refer to, there's a hell of a lot of humans that don't belong to my species because they calibrate below 200 on the scale of consciousness, which means they're demonic. And when I would turn on the television, which I rarely do because I don't like the shit that they put on the television, I see people that I have no desire to associate with. Because they are not thoughtful. In other words, they don't really go and look at the heart of things. So we come back to what the extraterrestrials call service to self people and service to others people. And the service to self people are what I see on television. Everyone knows it. Everyone knows that these people that somehow end up in these titled positions like presidents and prime ministers, and I'll tell you the story. In Canada, there was a colonel who was the head of Canadian Forces Base Trenton. And he flew the prime minister around. Stephen Harper was the prime minister. This colonel was the one who flew him around. And he had an exemplary record as a military officer. So he was given command of Canadian Forces Base Trenton. And what happened was the police figured out that this colonel broke into people's houses and raped women. So what's the point? What is the point? How did he get this way? Humans are not what you think. Humans are not running themselves from their little brains and their little learnings. They are run by outside forces that have the capability of putting not only thoughts in your head, but making you do things that you wouldn't do if you had free will. So, who are these beings? Well, I don't know. How do I know it's true? Because I get these, I'm an empath and I feel these things when I walk around. When I walk into rooms, I feel energies. And they're not my energies. I didn't bring them into the room. You know, it's like when you walk into a bar and there's an energy, or you get, you know, you see someone and you get a certain feeling. Empath. And if I didn't bring it with me and I feel it, then it belongs to someone else. Now, before I really learned all this stuff, I might have thought to myself, well, these are my energies. This is me. And I think this is the problem that most people have, because everyone has got... Maybe they don't. I was going to say everyone's got the ability to feel these kind of vibes, but maybe some people don't. But I see enough people on internet groups that say that they are to know that at least some of us have got these abilities to feel vibrations. And if we do our own work to evaluate whether it's something within us, within our own personalities, and then we review our life and try and figure out what exactly made us do what we did in the past, you can't help but come up with the idea that something else is running the show. So, did the colonel intend to do all these rapes, or was he forced to do it? Well, it's an interesting study to study what it is. I mean, the criminality, I'm sure they're not looking at hidden forces. But Dr. David Hawkins' first book was The Hidden Determinants of Human Behavior. Power versus force. So he says right in the title of his book, it's hidden. So, you might say, who is Dr. David R. Hawkins? Well, you have to look him up, but he was well recognized. And does that mean anything? Well, maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. But I always come back to this because I just know what, from my own personal experience, it makes sense to me. You'll have to see if this resonates with you. And if it doesn't, then I encourage you to go and read Dr. Hawkins anyway. Because sometimes things that don't resonate with you are the ones that you need to go and look at, because of cognitive dissonance. In other words, it doesn't jibe with what you already know, and you don't feel like you should listen to it. So what does that mean when I go back to this idea of going into the bar and feeling bad vibes? Is it me? Well, generally speaking, when I go places, I don't carry emotions. Sound weird? Taking a long time to get there. But I don't walk around wearing emotions. I go around neutral. Generally speaking, it doesn't, I mean, if I was going around with a positive slant, I might be somebody who's like the life of the party, right? You know, the people that are like, they're all smiling and, you know, come on, let's go dance. And, you know, that might be what you call like a positive slant. A negative slant person might be somebody who comes up to you and punches you in the nose. So I don't do either of those things. Sometimes I show a positive slant to show people that I'm not negative. But as an actor, I prefer not to have a bias one way or another, because I want to feel what the others are putting out. Because I want to know what they're all about. And that's what I can do as an empath. And if I'm not putting out negative energies, and I'm not putting out too much revelry kind of energy, like let's celebrate. Some people might say, well, I'm a sourpuss. No, I like to observe. Because I've lived in this planet a long time, and I like to know what I'm getting into. Shouldn't I bring revelry to everything? No. Idiocy comes from revelry. Everyone knows it. So, there you have it. The end of your lecture from Stargate Research. And I am... who am I today? I'm the one who blabs a lot. I need a name. Stargate Research. I'm a civilian contractor, and my name is Aloyicious Clocksicle. Vicious man.